Hey there, Stampers. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and I am here today to share a fun card using the brand new Beautiful Autumn bundle from the August to December holiday catalog. So this bundle includes the stamp set and then these 3 punches. So there's a maple leaf, there is an acorn, and I think this is an oak leaf. So, and these 3 punches all coordinate with images from the stamp set. And I love the stamp set because I always love it when Stampin' Up! Combines fonts for their greetings. So, and this does just that. To like a simple font and then something that's a little bit more of a script. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so let's slide these out of the way and get started. Okay, so the pieces that I have here today are a piece of soft suede cardstock that measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. That is going to be our card base. Then I have another piece that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that piece is going to get embossed using the subtle embossing folder. And then I have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 vanilla cardstock. That is going to be for the inside. I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut a piece of the Gilded Autumn Specialty DSP using the stitch nested labels. And I believe I used the second largest size. Let me just make sure. Yes, it was the second largest. And that's the stitched nested labels. I'll have a full supply list in the description below for you if you want to go back and refer to anything. And I will also have all of the measurements on my blog as well, and there'll be a link to that blog post in the description. Okay, so we've got that. I've got a piece of vanilla that measures 3/4 of an inch by 3.5. That is going to be for my greeting. And then I've got another scrap piece of vanilla. That's to stamp my leaves on. And then I have a piece of, this is a piece of the copper color from the brushed metallic cardstock. And this is new. This is also part of the suite that this bundle is included in. And this looks very different from our copper foil. If you can, I'll bring it a little closer. I'm not sure if you can see those brush lines on it. It's just a little bit more subtle. It's still beautiful, it's still shimmery or shiny, but it's not quite so in your face like the foil can be. So I just have a touch of that, and then I've got a linen thread bow. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do, let's just get the embossing done. So I'm going to bring in, slide these pieces out of the way. I'm going to bring in our new machine. This is our Stampin' Cut and Emboss. I'm calling it the Big Boss because it's just too much of a mouthful. So these sides fold up and then you just open them up so it can be nice and compact. Now, one thing that is great about this machine is that on the platforms it tells you exactly the sandwich layer. So I've got my plate number 1, which is the thicker one, that down, and it says use with 3D embossing folders, and it tells you what the sandwich layer is. So 1, and then you've got your folder with your cardstock in between, and then your number 4, which is this one. Now, if you have our older style 3D embossing folders, these are thicker than the newer styles. So it doesn't work with that sandwich layer. I found it just to be a little bit too tight. So what I found works is, first of all, you always, whether you're using the new or the old style, any embossing folders, you always want to feed the seam in first. And I also suggest that you avoid putting your cardstock right up to the top, because when you feed it through, it causes too much pressure at the seam, and sometimes you'll find that your folder will start to split. So I always leave a little bit of space. Okay, so I've got that down, and then you want to use a number 3. So the number 3 and the number 4 are a little bit different in thickness. So if you're using our older style 3D embossing folders, the ones that are really thick, you want to use a number 3 and not the number 4 that it suggests on there. Okay? All right, so I'm just running that through. And then we can get this out of the way. So and by doing that, I get that nice impression on there. Okay, so let's bring back, okay, actually we can leave all that. We're gonna do our stamping now. So the colors that I've chosen to stamp are Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Soft Suede, and I forgot one of them, Mint Macaron was the last one. So, and I chose colors right from that Gilded Autumn Specialty DSP. Okay, so let's do, we're gonna do the Cajun Craze first. And I've got my maple leaf here, so I'm going to stamp my outline image. I'm gonna stamp it twice. And then I'm gonna take the inside image, because this is a 2-step stamp, and a scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to ink it up with the same color. I'm gonna stamp off. And then stamp over top, stamp off. I'm getting some glare here, it's hard to see. Okay, so that's in Cajun Craze. And then I'm going to take Blackberry Bliss. Now I found Blackberry Bliss to be a little bit trickier. So for this one, I'm actually going to stamp the solid image first. I'm gonna try it. I did not try this when I did it last. Stamping off, so I'm doing the lighter bit first because I found, because Blackberry Bliss is such a dark color, I found it tricky to see through that solid image to line it up when I was stamping the inside pieces. Okay, let's try it the other way and see if it works better. Doing a little test here. Oh, see now and I don't have a problem. Okay. All right, maybe it was just the lighting on the last one. We're gonna do it this way. See if we can get it. Okay, that's better. All right, and then I need to grab another scrap piece. I didn't get enough scraps. Okay, and of course I can't find a piece that's big enough. Oh, that should be big enough. And we're going to take the 2 leaf images. I forgot that I had used these as well. So that, and then the inside. And for this one, we want to use Mint Macaron. So again, I'm going to do the solid image first. Or not, sorry, not the solid, the detailed image first. Stamp it twice. And then the solid image stamping off. And that just colors it in, but it's just really soft. Okay. And then we have one more thing to stamp, and that is our greeting. We can move this out of the way. I'm going to bring in that smaller strip of vanilla. And we're going to stamp the thank you in Soft Suede. Right in the center. Okay, so all of our stamping is done. Now I'm going to bring in the coordinating punches and punch these out. So the maple leaf, by flipping over your punch, you can see, so you can line it up just right. So punch out 2 of those. And then the 2 better ones for the oak leaf. just like that. And then this one, there's no punch for this one, but I've gone ahead and stamped them and fussy cut them. Okay, so now we've got all our pieces, we can start to assemble. So first of all, let's attach this to our card base. I'm going to use our seal adhesive. This is a great adhesive. It works really well. You don't need a lot of it. That's going to go right in the center. And then our stitch nested label will go in the center of that panel. Just like that. I'm going to attach the what is this, metallic foil to the back of the greeting, just along the bottom, and I cut it a little bit long. That way I know it's going to go all the way across, and then I can trim off the excess. Okay, and this is going to go on using dimensionals. Now, if you love this beautiful autumn bundle, this is the bundle that I'm going to be working with in my September Let's Get Crafty card class. You can participate in person with some restrictions, of course, or you can participate virtually. So I'll have a link in the description below for you to check out the details of that. And you can participate, doesn't matter where you are in Canada. Okay, so we've got our greeting on there. Now we want to add our little embellishments. So I'm just going to trim off the stem of the leaves just so it doesn't stick out. And I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue to adhere these. Just gives me the flexibility to reposition as I go. There we go. So this is going to get popped just kind of right there. And then I'm just going to kind of fold these leaves or bend them just ever so slightly just to give them a bit more dimension. Add a little bit of adhesive here. Tuck that in there. And then our oak leaf, do the same thing. That's going to get tucked in there. And then I'll use a little mini glue dot to add my baker's twine bow. And this glue dot is quite large. Let's just fold it in half here. All right, so one of our clusters is done, and now I'm going to repeat this cluster over here. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up, and if you are not yet a subscriber, I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'm trying to do them a little bit more often than I have been in the past. Okay, see, by using that multi-purpose glue, it just gives us that flexibility to kind of reposition as we need to. There we go. Okay, so now we can do the inside. And maybe what I'll do is I'm going to add a couple leaves on the inside just to dress up the inside just a little bit. So I'm going to use the mint macaron. And just stamp a couple of these. And maybe in the upper corner as well. There we go. And then I'll fill them in. This leaf image is actually really easy to line up. Although I say that and it'll probably not work. Okay, let's see. So far, so good. There we go. So that just adds a little bit of color. You could also add a couple stamped and punched out leaves if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave it with just those ones. Again, add a little bit of adhesive to the four corners. And there we go. There we've got a beautiful thank you card. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Remember, I've got a full supply list in the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments and I'm happy to answer. All right, thanks so much for watching.